For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, hello again, Paul Dingeman here. Glad you are along. May is moving along. We're coming up on Memorial Day shortly. But we've got two segments today with some very interesting people. Julie Alef, the branch lead, still that's the correct title,
that is the title,
from the St. Clair Library. And then coming along will be the president of the St. Clair, Friends of the St. Clair River, Sherri Faust. So that's what we're going to do. But let's begin with a friend by the name of Julie Alef. Welcome back. It's been way too long since I've seen you. Nice to see you.
So long since we've seen anybody.
Correct, correct. Library closed for a while. You tell me what happened during that time. You just dusted books, or what'd you do?
Well, at first we were closed and we were all at home.
Yeah.
And then they brought us back and we did curbside.
Oh, yes.
So you could call and pick up books, and then we were open, and then we went back to curbside, and then we're open, and we've been open since last May. So.
Okay. Okay.
But we've just expanded our hours, and we are now open every morning and open every evening, Monday through Thursday. So 9 to 8, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5 on Friday, and 9 to 2 on Saturday.
Lots of new programming throughout those hours?
Yes, lots of stuff happening, and story time, summer reading is coming.
Okay, when does summer reading start?
It starts, we're having our kickoff party on June 17th, and we'll have refreshments and get people started on their summer reading logs. And it's going to be available on an app too.
Really?
And so they can they can put raffle tickets in for prizes all through the county.
What kinds of prizes? This is for youth, isn't it, or for everybody?
Well, we have prizes for children up to age 12, and then teens are 12 to 18, and then adults, 18 and older.
And you got actual prizes. That's pretty cool.
Actual prizes.
Wonderful. Library is such a great place. The room that Jason Steyer did is just an amazing room. If people haven't seen that, a children's room. Talk to me about it in case I've never
it's stunning. It's my favorite thing is to take kids and say, this room is yours. And they walk in, and it has the ceiling is very high, and each wall has a full mural on it, and it's the 4 seasons. So it's just beautiful. And Jason did that with his kids at Riverview East. They designed it, and then Jason came in every morning in the summer and painted it along.
That was about 10 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah, about 10 years ago, yeah.
Still a wonderful piece of art.
Well, and I'm so thrilled that we have such a great public art committee in St. Clair.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like it. You never forget your first library.
Yes, 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 that's correct.
They're always measured, every library after that is measured against your first.
Right, okay. You've got some things coming up. Sam, I'll get the name right, is going to throw up a slide about a motorcycle, a gal running around. Well, that's cribbage. There you go. Spirit Traffic, what is that?
That is a woman who, her son was graduating from college, and he had a thing about motorcycles. And her mother had owned the Honda motorcycle dealership in Ann Arbor in the 70s. And so she'd ridden a little bit as a kid, and they put together this scheme that they would ride across the country, the 3 of them, the mom, the dad, and the son who was graduating, and do it up big. And so it's the story of that travel. And so you would think that she would be a really great motorcycle rider, and it turns out that that's not the case, that actually she had to kind of learn to go on this trip. And so it's full of trepidation and vulnerability, and a mom who's letting go of her son and facing fears and checking things off the bucket list. And
oh my gal.
Adventures.
So where did they go, from New York to California?
They went from Vermont to California and back.
And back?
And back on a motorcycle.
How many months did that take?
They did it in 7 weeks.
Wow, 7 weeks. And she's coming with her book on Friday, June the 3rd at 3 o'clock at the St. Clair branch.
Yes, and her motorcycle.
And her motorcycle. Oh, I would hope she'd bring her motorcycle.
She's doing this book tour on a motorcycle.
And obviously she'll have some books available for purchase, but she's going to speak and tell us all about the trip.
Yep, she's going to do a reading and be available for questions, and then being the open person that she is, you can bring a story of one of your adventures, kind of moth story hour style, and do a quick story and share an adventure that you had either on a motorcycle or not. Wow. If you dare.
Well, that's certainly unique. But you, before we started, you said that you've had a wonderful memory from Marilyn Zwing, and you're going to start some new things. So
yes,
tell us about that.
Marilyn Zwing remembered us in her estate plan, and so we got this money. And so we're planning to do some literary stuff and have more authors into St. Clair, and maybe even a festival.
Wonderful, wonderful. Numbers of years ago, and I can't pinpoint right here how many years ago it was, there was a speaking, maybe before your time.
No, we did it, and Marilyn Zwing was instrumental in that, in starting it with the Friends. And so we've gotten the influx of money to make it spectacular, so we're going to make it.
Good. When do you think that will be kicking off?
We hope to have it this fall, COVID willing.
Okay.
And also the planning, et cetera. It would be ideal to have it start this fall. Worst case scenario, it'll be next fall.
Okay. So good hour. Let's go through the hours again for the library now that we're back open, and let people know that. And what else is happening?
Summer reading. We're very excited about an app that's going to be available for kids so that they can keep track of their hours themselves and read their books, our books, everybody's books.
Are they encouraged by the school systems to come and be in that summer reading program? I would hope so.
Well, actually what happens is the school has their own, and it's read 1,000 minutes, and they keep track of it for that, but their reading is reading to us, so their time in that 1,000 minutes can count towards our prizes too.
Oh, wonderful.
We are not
double dipping.
Yes.
I like it.
Encouraged.
Is this this is the book that the Spirit Traffic book.
Yes.
So a nice book, and it's probably a good read.
Actually, it is. It's beautifully written. I'm kind of a snob about books, and particularly about memoirs, but that one bounces along, and lots of great stories. It's really well done.
So she's going to be here on June 3rd.
Friday, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
So come see us, and then head on out for a drink and dinner with your bestie. And
there you go. On your motorcycle.
Or not.
Did we miss anything?
No, I think we got it.
All righty. That's the place to be, is the St. Clair Library, and across from the post office. You know where it is, next to the fire department. If you haven't been there in a while, stop in and say hello to Julie and her great staff. We'll be right back with our next guest in a second. Well, we're coming up on a fun time of year, and that lady is a lady that's going to tell us about that fun time of year, is Sherri Faust, the president of the Friends of St. Clair River. Welcome back to the Focus.
Hi,
nice
Paul.
to see you.
Nice to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, it's fun to be
here.
here.
You are now a resident. Your offices are now here in St. Clair, Michigan.
Yes, we
Amazing.
love it. We love it so much. We thank the city so much for making us feel so welcome. Inviting us in, and it really just is such a special place for us to have our office.
For those that don't know where that office is, tell us.
We are in the former Eddy Elementary building on 9th Street, and that building was shuttered a few years ago.
Yeah.
The county purchased it, and now it's a beautiful community center, so it's almost at 100% capacity. We have one of the spaces in there. We actually are in the principal's office.
I was going to say that. You ended up in the principal's office.
We're in like the secretary's principal's office. It's a fabulous space. We have about 3,000 square feet
Wow.
inside Eddie. That's just our space, but it's like a cooperative community center now, which is really great because the school was a community building, and now it still is a community building. Right. So anybody can stop in any time, pop in, say hello.
And you have a couple guests in your office there that you're going to tell us about.
We have some baby sturgeon, and I brought my sturgeon with me. We have 2 baby sturgeon in an aquarium.
Real live
swimming baby sturgeon.
How long are they?
Yeah, smaller than this, probably about 12 inches.
Okay.
So they were born last year at this time, so they're almost a year old. And we're gonna return them back to the wild at Sturgeon Festival. We're gonna hand release them back into Lake Huron, back to the wild.
Wonderful. I'm brand new to the community. I don't know a thing about a sturgeon. Tell me the story.
Yeah, so 9 years ago we built the biggest celebration we could for the Great Lakes' biggest fish. And sturgeon used to swim the waters of the Great Lakes, but they're nearly an endangered fish today, brought to the brink of extinction. But they're starting to make a comeback. There's been a lot of restoration work done and protection work, habitat work done in the St. Clair River. So we build a festival around the time of year that they migrate to the Blue Water Bridges to spawn, which is in June every year. And thousands of people gather on the shore to celebrate that occasion when sturgeon migrate here. So St. Clair County has the largest population of lake sturgeon anywhere in the entire Great Lakes.
Really?
Yes.
I know there's not festivals, but there's spawning areas near Algonac, down in the Detroit River, but this one here is the largest.
Underneath the Blue Water Bridges is the largest.
And why would that be?
A couple reasons. One is the St. Clair River has never had a dam built on it.
Okay.
So it's still a free-flowing, fast-flowing river, and that is ideal sturgeon habitat. Most rivers around the Great Lakes have had a dam built on them at some point. It's also very cold water, it's very clear water, and it's a very rocky bottom, and they need that rocky bottom for spawning habitat to lay their eggs.
Okay.
So all of that combined makes great sturgeon habitat, and so we build a festival around it, and we actually bring the sturgeon up on shore in a giant touch tank, about a 6-foot touch tank, so people can actually get up close to this living dinosaur. And they really are living dinosaurs. They've been unchanged for millions of years. And the population is about 1% of what it used to be in the Great Lakes. So we want to just bring attention to the species because we know that sturgeon numbers are increasing in the Great Lakes. It assures us that the health of the St. Clair River is also improving. So we use these as like a spotlight species to help us. I know, isn't that fun?
Who got you the sturgeon here?
Well, we have a sturgeon adoption program. So
you're adopting these guys?
Yes, but symbolically you're also adopting a real sturgeon in the river that has been tagged and has an ID tag to it. And you get to adopt a sturgeon. You can choose the gender, the age of it. Oh. And so we give you this as like your symbolic gift of your adoption. But for $50, you can adopt a real live sturgeon in the river and help support conservation of this local endangered species.
Where do I find information on your website?
Our website is scriver.org, and you can also adopt one at the Sturgeon Festival. So you can come see our baby sturgeon, see the big adult sturgeons that are 6 feet in the tank, and then adopt one that day.
Sam's got up Saturday, June 4th. That's the date. 10 in the morning till 3 o'clock at the Fort Gratiot Lighthouse. That's where you physically will be for the Sturgeon Festival.
For the festival, we have Native American drum ceremony, lots of food trucks, about 20 different vendors set up with hands-on activities and art and crafts for kids, as well as the live sturgeon touch tank. And it's just a big, fun festival atmosphere. It's all free.
Oh, that's the big word, free.
Free.
SMR got involved with you. What are they doing?
Yes, they're one of our sponsors. So they stepped up, they got involved, and so they are helping underwrite the cost. And it's because of sponsors like SMR that help make Sturgeon Festival free.
Did I read that the cruise is going to be free now?
The cruise is not free. So
it's not free.
Correct. So we do have the Sturgeon cruise that goes on the Huron Lady. That's a reduced ticket price, but that's a $30 ticket price for the Huron Lady Sturgeon cruise.
And why would I want to go on the Huron Lady?
The Huron Lady Sturgeon Cruise, so we're going to have baby sturgeon on the Huron Lady Sturgeon Cruise. It's going to be expertly narrated by biologists that study lake sturgeon around the Great Lakes. And then the Huron Lady, underneath the Blue Water Bridges, is going to pull up alongside a research vessel that has lake sturgeon on board. And you're going to actually see how they pull up lake sturgeon from the lake, how they weigh them, tag them, measure them, and then you'll see it released back into the river. So you're going to see like real live interaction with this species and how we study sturgeon and how we're learning more about their movements and biology. So that's a unique experience.
I've got some pictures that Sam's going to roll here of some kids. This drawing, you've got a calendar here. We're going to get into that. How'd you get involved with the drawing?
Well, we get kids involved in this message. We want students to help us tell the lake sturgeon story, and we invite 5th graders from around St. Clair County to submit artwork, and then we compile the best of the best into a calendar, and that's our 2022 calendar from this year. And we receive about 400 posters. Oh,
look at those! Those are great pictures. Yeah.
And then a lucky few students will get their artwork in the poster.
So you got this one, The Return of the Super Sturgeon, on the back screen. Help save our sturgeon.
These are 5th graders.
5th graders.
5th grade.
Wow.
And they're really helping us tell the sturgeon story. And that's what we like.
Before they draw them, do you bring them a sample of a?
We do. We go into their classroom and give them an educational program where they learn about sturgeon. They learn about sturgeon research. So we want students to learn about the threatened and endangered animals in their backyard. It's great to learn about the tigers and the polar bears and pandas of the world. But we have a threatened species that lives right in our backyard that really needs our conservation and protection. So that's what we're teaching students about.
If Sam will throw up your Sturgeon Festival webpage, we can sort of scroll through that. You've got a page just for, there it is right there, St. Clair, the Friends of the St. Clair River. And you can go on this one and get all the times and dates. And
our website for the festival is sturgeonfestival.com. So you just type in sturgeonfestival.com. It has all the details for the Sturgeon Cruise and all of the events and activities taking place that day.
And when I was on there earlier, you can click one of the videos and it shows you the sturgeon swimming in the bottom of the river.
The river,
Pretty cool stuff.
So we're bringing that experience to shore. For people to experience. They're pretty mysterious animals. They live on the bottom. Not many people ever get to see them. And if we want to inspire stewardship and care of this Great Lakes' largest fish, then we need to connect people to the fish and show it to them. It's pretty neat when you see a big adult 5-foot, 6-foot sturgeon in our tank.
15th anniversary of the Blue Water Sturgeon Festival. But how long have you been involved with the Friends of the St. Clair River?
Yeah, we're celebrating our 15th anniversary this year. 15 years.
And you've seen lots of improvement in the St. Clair River over those years.
We have.
It's been a struggle, but...
Yeah, we have. You know, we want to make sure that the river, you can swim in it, you can drink it, and you can fish it. And you can do those things. And a century ago, you couldn't. So there has been measurable progress made in the St. Clair River, which is important. It's our source of drinking water here. And sturgeon is just one benchmark that we can use to gauge the improvement of the health of the St. Clair River over time. If these animals are returning and they can survive and thrive here, then that's one sign that we can use to show improvement.
How can the public help you? 12 months a year, just not during the Sturgeon Festival.
Right. We say that we are in the field 52 weeks a year. Just because it's cold and snowy out, we don't stop working. We're constantly doing land care, habitat management, invasive species removal, planting native plants. We do that 52 weeks a year. And you go to our Friends of the St. Clair River website, scriver.org. You'll see all sorts of different activities that you can get hands on if you want. You can get boots on and get muddy in the river with us. You can go walking in a woods or forest with us. So We give lots of different opportunities.
So you
for people.
use volunteers then too?
We use volunteers. In fact, if you want to be one of our sturgeon groupies, be part of our sturgeon squad.
I'm going to be a sturgeon groupie.
You can be a sturgeon groupie. You can be a volunteer at Sturgeon Festival.
Okay.
And kind of get behind the scenes, help us.
Sherri Faust, she's the president of the Friends of the St. Clair River, and she'd love to have you involved. So it sounds like fun. June the 4th at the Fort Gratiot Lighthouse. That's where the Sturgeon Festival will be, but as she said, her webpage is St. Clair, friendsoftheriver.org.
scriver.org.
scriver.org, and she's now located in the Eddy Community Center in St. Clair. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.